Hey, this is Alex with the Unbiased Trailblazer podcast. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Unbiased Blazers. There's a link in our bio for our Discord server where you can join in on the discussions, give us your takes, give us comments, or simply just join in on a podcast. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please rate and review our show. And if you're listening on Spotify, there's a new feature where you can rate our show as well. Now, let's get to the show. Rip City, baby.
3, 2, 1, 0, 0.
Lift off and the clock has started.
Rip City, what is going on? Sorry, we missed you last week. It was a crazy week. I was battling a cold. Fawad got busy with his medical studies and, becoming a doctor and, making a better life for himself. But we're here today. We have a special guest we're going to interview here in a second, and I'll have Fawad introduce him in just a second. But first off, I just wanted to say sorry for our first podcast we've missed, and I don't know, it's been a while since we've missed one, but we're back. We're ready to go. We're going to talk some basketball here. And Fawad, why don't you go ahead and introduce who we got here today?
Yeah, so the Blazers aren't really doing anything too interesting these days. No one's even playing, so we thought might as well get a guest. So today we have Mubaraz, who is my friend who I've known for quite a long time, probably at least 10 years. He is actually a Lakers fan, but we're going to talk about some Blazers stuff, some Lakers stuff, just mix it up, have some fun. Is he here?
I'm glad to. I'm glad to be here, and really looking forward to chopping it up about this so-called Lakers Blazers rivalry that we have, or something like that.
All right, so let me just start it off. So I was looking through some players who have played with both Portland and Lakers. I was gonna ask you what your favorite is, but who your favorite is. I'm gonna list off a couple names. It's definitely not the entire list, and most of them are bench guys. But let's, if you can think of someone else, that works too. But obviously we have Melo, who's on the Lakers right now. Played the last 2 seasons with us. Ariza is actually on the Lakers as well right now, I think, and he was also with us for a year or two. Josh Hart just got traded here. He was drafted by the Lakers. Larry Nance was also drafted by the Lakers, and he was here until we traded him for Josh Hart. And then the other kind of noteworthy one I thought of is kind of like a loophole, but Pau Gasol, obviously a Lakers legend, but he didn't play with Portland, but he was signed here, and he was too injured to play. So if you can think of someone else, that's fine too. But between those guys, Melo, Josh Hart, Larry Nance. Ed Davis is another one who a couple years in Portland, I think 1 or 2 in LA. Between those guys, is there anyone you're particularly fond of?
I mean, Ed Davis was always great. I feel like he didn't play for us as much as I wish he would have, just because at the time we didn't really have a role for him. I think it was like 2016, like those early years right after Kobe went down. Like 2013, 14, 15, somewhere along the line, he did sign like a pretty like team-friendly contract. We didn't really use him as well as we could have, but outside of that, I mean, Larry Nance, obviously, like he was like always that hustle player that we loved in that 2017 year, back when we had that really fun and upbeat like Lonzo, Kuzma, that first like rookie year where everything just seemed to be almost clicking. Except Damian Lillard hitting that one shot over Ingram.
Step back.
Yeah, that was it. Let's not talk about that.
We were actually watching that game together at our university, like in the house we rented with a couple other roommates as well, and we were just talking trash back and forth all day, and then Dame hit the shot in Ingram's face. It was a great memory.
I have a different memory, but I wouldn't say great, but it was close. It was nice to see, though. I'll say that. much. That one still kind of burns. So I'm not gonna lie to you. But yeah, I know Larry Nance always was honestly a great guy to have. You guys kind of had him for a short stint, I think. Like, did he even play for you
Yeah.
guys?
Oh,
Very
he
little.
played. He was injured for a bit, but yeah, he did play for us for a while.
Yeah, but anyway, at least in that year, I just saw him like hustle plays down this
Mhm.
like down the stretch. He'll go for that rebound out of bounds. He'll guard, at least at the time. He'll guard the best player if we didn't really have a really good defensive lineup at the time. But you guys get the point. And then Josh Hart, you guys are gonna love him. I think you guys just got him. Like that dude is just tenacious. Like he will um he is probably my favorite 3-and-D player of that year, like that 2017, 2018, before we traded him for AD. Like I really did like him, and there was a lot of games down the stretch in that 2017 year, 2017-18 year, where he was just like at like 5 games in a row he had like 30 like 20 to 30 points, just absolutely killing it. So he can do that. I just don't know if he's gonna have the opportunity. But he'll you give him a chance, he'll be your 3-and-D player. And just another reason I really like that 2017 team a lot. So you might hear me talking about it. But uh, yeah, no, that was a fun team to watch. I like any player on that team, and I was sad when we traded Larry Nance that year.
Who'd you guys
But
trade for? Was it for? It was with the
it
Cavs.
was
I don't remember who it was for.
so we traded Jordan Clarkson and Larry Nance. Uh, we had to trade him to Cleveland, and we got back Isaiah for the rest of the season.
Oh,
And then we got back one other player. I forget his name now, but we that ended up shedding some salary that allowed us to sign LeBron later that summer. So that was fun. Um, that was, I guess, a good play looking back. But uh, yeah, I know I was not happy about that trade. But
turned into a
Hind
championship, so it worked
hindsight,
out.
yeah, 2020. Hindsight's
Yeah,
2020.
we're all really excited for Josh Hart. He's been pretty decent so far. He'll definitely have a chance to score for the rest of the season since like no one else is playing. But I think next year is where he'll like really shine when he's playing alongside Damon and stuff. But yeah, I'm excited for him.
No,
Yeah,
you should be.
yeah. I think he's best as like your number 3 option. I think that's like where his like perfect spot is. He can go out there, he can get you hustle plays, he can play defense for you, he can knock down open threes, he can still kind of create for himself. Um, I'm super super excited for Josh Hart, and I really do think that that was a really good trade for us. You know, getting rid of CJ and getting Josh Hart, and hopefully getting a first round pick. Um, but I wanted to answer for Mike because we already know Mike's yelling out Mello right now. So
I was
Mike's
just gonna
Mike's
bring him
yelling
up.
Mello. So we don't even have to worry about that. But for me, it's not someone you mentioned. It's someone a lot of people probably gloss over. Steve Blake. I love
I
that
actually
dude.
did have him on my list, but I was like, he's been retired for a while. Let me just keep it the current players. So I didn't
I
end up
love
saying him,
Steve
but
Blake.
when I was looking through the names, he was on my list.
Steve Blake is like a tough player. Even Kobe
Yes.
said that he has that Mamba mentality.
Yep.
I think he had a broken arm, and he played through it. He didn't even know for 2 weeks he had a broken arm. He was like, "Yo, something was just nagging me."
When he
I
played
think
for
it
you
was,
guys,
yeah, in that 2013, that that
I
that
vaguely
curse.
remember that.
Yeah, yeah. It was a cursed season, but like we had got injuries, but no complaints from him, right? He was injured. Like, so yeah, that dude was tough, tough as anything.
Yeah, he always played hard, and he was very underrated for some of the stuff he could do. And he wasn't afraid of nobody. There was not a single person he was afraid of.
Yeah. No, like I have to say, I think I completely slipped my mind, but that was probably the only silver lining of that 2012, 2013 season. I think Kobe, that was Kobe's Achilles year,
Achilles. Yep, I think so
unfortunately.
too.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, there's a couple other guys that like were on both of our teams as well. That are kind of like, or at least with one of them, they were basically at the end of the bench, not in the rotation. But Ben McLemore's here right now. I think he spent like half a season in LA. Same with Wesley Matthews. I think last year, the year before, he was on
my
LA for a
boy.
bit, and Blazers fans love him, obviously. I think Bazemore was on the Lakers too. I couldn't remember for sure, and I didn't have time to check.
Yeah, I mean he's on it. He's on
I
the
was gonna
team right
say
now,
he's on the
Oh, he's
team
on there
now.
right now. Okay.
and he was back in the day as well. We used to call him Dollar Store Kobe like 4 years ago. Yeah, because he always used to act like Kobe, except he shot 30% from the field or something terrible like that.
It didn't change when he was with us. Don't worry.
Yeah, yeah. So, no, it was fun to see him almost making shots. Like, or it wasn't really that fun. Like,
I mean, he helps you get Ingram and stuff depending on the timeline. If
no,
you're
no, I mean, maybe if you see it, if you look at it from that perspective, he might have missed some shots that got us Ingram. So, yeah, good point. Yeah, no, yeah, I think you also said Macklemore, or you said Wesley Matthews. You guys like Wesley Matthews? Like
Oh,
that's
I
a
loved Wesley Matthews. That was my boy.
okay, my bad.
Unfortunately, when he went to you guys, he was kind of a shell of
Yeah,
himself. But when he was with us, that dude was everything.
no, I completely forgot the timeline. Yeah, I know that, but that was like that was like the Aldridge Dame, like that was
Batum, yep.
yeah,
Matthews,
yeah, and Robin Lopez. That was a good
Look,
lineup, man.
yeah.
That-
We just had no
yeah.
bench.
No, but all those guys like went and did well wherever they landed, right? I don't except Robin
yeah,
Lopez, maybe. I'm not sure where he landed.
I mean, he did okay. Matthews came back from the Achilles injury, so that was one of the reasons why we didn't go re-sign him, was because he tore his Achilles, and we kind of decided to rebuild from there. He did okay in Dallas. He had a couple good years in Dallas, and then it's kind of just been a
he was
spot
okay.
player.
I think he was on the Milwaukee championship team too, right? I think he was
No,
okay.
he wasn't on
Oh,
the year
Milwaukee's
before?
championship.
No,
Yep.
it was the year
And
before.
and now
Oh.
he's back again.
Oh, so he just he missed out on the
He
big
missed
year.
out. He actually went to the Lakers the year that they lost, and then went to the Bucks the year that they didn't win. Or sorry, he was on the Lakers when they didn't win, and then they won the next year, and he went to the Bucks, and they didn't win, and then the next year they won.
No, I
So
think
he needs to come back to Portland.
yeah, you guys can have him. It's like I'm not sure. Like no one's really fighting for that dude.
No,
With all due
unfortunately not.
respect. With all due respect. And Batum, he was overpaid. I think that was
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he got a huge contract. He played okay for like a year or two, I think. But yeah, the big issue is that like they paid him like I don't know, $120 million for 4 years, something like that. Maybe 5 years. Probably not
That
5
was with
years.
Charlotte, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were paying for that for a while.
He was a good player in his prime, though. I liked him a lot.
Yeah, you guys like it was hard to keep that core together, man. It was just a group of just like really good players that were bound to like slip away. Like it happens.
Yep.
Speaking of which, I think I said something. Yeah, speaking of being overpaid, what are your thoughts on Evan Turner?
We don't talk about that guy. We
That
do
was
not
a
speak
mistake.
of him. We when that person drove the car into his pool, that was about the best thing that ever happened with Evan Turner. That's about
was
the
a
only
trap.
noteworthy thing.
I remember Fuad back in the day. He used to try to argue that that he was really good if you put him on the second unit and let him control the game.
He,
Along those lines.
I don't know.
Let me put it this way. If we put him on the second unit, he would have been okay if we weren't paying him $500 million.
It was man.
It was crazy.
Like back in the day, like 18 million 5 years ago, or like
Yeah.
whatever that was a lot of money.
Yeah.
Now it's Serge Ibaka's probably I don't know how much he's getting paid, but you got like 30 million from the Raptors a couple years ago, past his prime, right? So with Evan Turner, I think man, I don't even know what to say about that guy. All I know is that he had a good fadeaway jumper, like a fringe good fadeaway jumper. That's the
He
only
was
thing I remember. What?
he was a decent player, but 4 years for 70 million, he was not that good.
Yeah,
Not at all.
yeah.
Let me ask you this. You obviously are a Lakers fan. I truly don't know how much you pay attention to the Blazers. Do you have like a favorite Trailblazer, or is there one that stands out to you that's like a player that you wish you guys would have had?
That's a good question. I think, man, there's some Kobe stoppers back in the day that I just remember watching and being like, man, I these guys were good. I think there was, dude, what was it? That that one dude. I don't know how long have you been watching the Blazers for?
I've been watching for a while now, for a long time. Before like probably 2008, 2009 was when I really started watching them. I was a Tracy McGrady fan first, so I was always watching whatever team he was on.
2004, 2005. So you probably remember like Ruben Patterson,
Ruben Patterson,
right?
that's who I was gonna
Yeah,
say when you said Kobe Stopper. That's what his nickname
yeah.
was.
I mean, those a lot of quote unquote Kobe stoppers.
Yeah,
Like that's
exactly.
like they like to call. I think Raja Bell too. Like
Well,
not
the
really.
clotheslines get you.
Yeah, yeah. Those Sun series were fun though. Like it was
They
fun
were.
to see him battle. Yeah.
Yep.
But Robin Patterson, Ruben Patterson. I think he like Kobe hit like two
Yeah.
crazy impossible shots. I don't know if you remember that,
Yeah.
but
Oh
like
yeah.
I went back when I was like really into the stuff like elementary school, like in high school. I watched that game in full, and I was just in awe. The way
Yep.
Kobe just absolutely demolished you guys. He finished with like 40 that game or something. But uh, and
Let's
I think
let's talk about Kobe for a second.
Kobe was a
You're
legend.
lucky enough to have him on your team. Obviously, he's one of the greatest players of all time. Rest in peace, Kobe. What's it like having that dude on your team and getting to watch him? I mean, we get to watch that with Lillard, but I obviously Lillard's not on the same scale that Kobe was. So, what was that like for you?
so. I and Kobe in a Denver series, 2011, 2011. Yeah, 2011 playoffs, Denver series. I see this guy splashing, hitting fadeaways, and I barely watch basketball at this point. I started my basketball like watching career a little late, and I'm watching it. I'm seeing just absolutely demolishing these guys, right? Fadeaway, jumper, step back, whatever, name it. In the moment, you're just in awe. Like you just like on a night to night basis, being able to watch that dude do what he does, and do what he did to the Blazers, especially, you know, it was
Oh,
fun. It was
we
fun to
know.
watch. It was fun to watch. It was truly fun to watch. Like and even late in his career, like after the I used to tune in just in case he was gonna have a Kobe night, right? There was games where I saw him put up like 30 shots, like obviously an exaggeration, but like 20 to 30 shots, and I'm waiting for Kobe night, and then that one-off Kobe night that I see, I'm like, yeah, this is what I came for. Like this is what I'm
Mhm.
like leaving my assignments for, right? Like This this
Yep.
is this is this is what I'm procrastinating for because at the end of the day, like you kind of want to recreate that feeling, man. Because seeing him go down with that Achilles injury in 2013 was just like devastating, right? Um, and then Dwight leaving right after, like that's at insult to injury. So it was nice to be able to get it whenever you could, especially that last night. I made sure to watch the entire game, and I was happy I did. 60
The
points.
the 60-point game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was
That's
crazy. Even though he took so many shots, just insane.
he's 37, man. Like
Yeah,
like I
just
don't know
crazy.
I think LeBron's also 37 or
Yeah,
36
I
now.
think he just turned 37.
Yeah, so like I know how like I like it's a different situation, right? Him scoring 50, 56 versus Kobe scoring 60.
Yeah.
Like I saw a lot of comparisons, at least when I was tapped into Lakers Twitter, and I was like, yeah, we can't really like or what are we doing here, right?
LeBron's a genetic freak, though, so
Yeah, exactly. And Kobe was coming off like 4 injuries, like back-to-back seasons. He barely played in the All-Star game till like 2016. For like 3 years straight, he was just injured during that time period. So you can't really compare it, right? But to answer the question, like, yeah, you can't. Like, I think, and I don't mean to quantify it like this, but it's gonna make me sound like a Lillard hater, which I'm not. But like, the awe feeling that you get watching Lillard hitting those threes or having a crazy night, multiply it by 2, multiply it by 3. That's the feeling I get with Kobe.
I mean,
no, I get it.
yeah, I don't think that's unrealistic or anything.
I mean, I felt that way when I was watching him do that 60-point game, that last game. Like, it was just, there was no way that that was not meant to happen. It was the craziest thing. Like, it just, you could tell that to end his career on free throws the way he started his career with free throws, like, I mean, literally everything. Hitting threes, nonstop, guys in his face, like he's done all his whole career. It was just like literally textbook how it should have ended.
Exactly. I yeah, man. But you
It's
can't
kind of cliche.
appreciate.
But he was just built different, like he actually was.
Yeah.
No, exactly. Like it's. He made it look easy. That's probably the best way to put
That's
it.
what. Yeah,
Like,
that's what's crazy is he made it look the people in his face and just pulling up, and it didn't matter. It was like,
Yeah, he
yeah,
had people like Kent Bazemore thinking they could do the same thing.
yeah, exactly. No, man, they for real, bro. And then he just aggravated players too. Like we were saying, Roger Bell, Ruben Patterson. I think Ruben Patterson is in jail now. Like I'm pretty sure that's where he's at. Like he had some Ponzi scheme. Anyway, Kobe put him there, 100%. You know, like I'm willing to, I'm willing to say Kobe ended his career.
he
Uh,
put a lot of people there.
yeah.
Speaking of, we were just talking about LeBron. We went back to Kobe for a bit, but what do you think about the season that's been happening for the Lakers so far?
Man, where do I start? Yeah, bro. Okay, so the season started off, and I was a little bit optimistic. I'm not gonna lie to you. In the summer when we got Westbrook, I was just ecstatic, man. It was like one of those things where I was like, "This is gonna work out." There's 3 stars. I am hell bent on feeling like out, and I think I overlooked the fact that like I knew we got Westbrook, but I think I also overlooked the fact that we got who Westbrook was. Westbrook.
You're not
So
allowed to say that.
Yeah, you got to come on.
I'm so sorry.
Hurt his
I'm sure.
feelings.
Yeah, maybe his wife is listening. I'm sorry about
Yeah.
that,
But I tweet you in
Nina.
like 10 minutes.
No, sorry about that, Nina. I take that back. But no, like he's. Part of me is like, this is because of Frank Vogel, not utilizing him properly. Like you see the way he's being used, and you're like, man, he should be the primary ball handler all the way through. Like, right? It's tough with
Totally.
LeBron, with like a talent like LeBron on the squad, but at the same time, like, we saw it. I think a couple nights ago, at like even the a couple nights ago, I like I don't remember the exact game now, but when I was watching him just handle the ball, be the primary ball handler. I think it was just yesterday. It might have just been yesterday, and I was like, this is how he should play, right? LeBron kind of playing a little more off. You have an all-star talent, right? When given the opportunity, and like speaking of Nina Westbrook, if you were to put this dude on the Orlando Magic would make the playoffs, right? So we got to come with that mentality
I mean, I
of
don't think they would now. His MVP year is like 5 years ago now.
I mean, he took the Wizards to the playoffs last year, right? It's the
Yeah,
East.
but Beal was there too. The Magic have like Cole Anthony. That's it.
Mark,
Hey,
okay.
he's a dunk contest participant. He tried hard.
Yeah, I know. Okay, maybe I'm stretching it. I have to say, I was about to say Fultz, and then I realized Fultz can't shoot either. So,
I'll
with
be
that,
honest. When you guys got Westbrook, I didn't understand it. It didn't make sense to me. I didn't see it fitting well. He's not a shooter whatsoever. And when you have LeBron, who's wanting to bring the ball up so much, you need that floor spacing. You need shooters. And I was like, Westbrook's another guy that wants the ball in his hands a lot, and it's like I just didn't see it working. I'm not surprised it hasn't worked, but you do see flashes where it does kind of work. But I never was sold on it. I was glad you guys took him, honestly.
I wasn't sold on
Man,
the fit, but I thought the talent would be enough to get them like people are putting them at like 1-2 seed. I was like, that's insane. But I thought they were gonna be around
Yeah,
like
true.
six,
Good
maybe
point.
7.
Yeah, I didn't think they wouldn't not make the playoffs, but I didn't think they were going to be like a top seed like everyone was saying they would. So that is a good point, Fuad.
I will say that the injuries have been bad this year. Like I personally, with my heart, believe that we can be a 4 or 5 seed without injuries. Am I stretching it?
I think so.
Maybe it's
Even when
optimism.
LeBron and AD were both playing, you guys were like,
Yeah.
I don't
I
know,
mean, there's gonna be a
barely
little
above
bit. The
500.
only time, sorry to cut you off, but like the only time where they were healthy was early in the season. That fit, like the fit's gonna take some time, right? Like, and there's some parts where everyone was healthy, but you can't expect we never had Kendrick Nunn. Is Kendrick Nunn a
Is
game
he back
changer?
yet?
Uh,
Still not playing.
pardon?
He's still not playing, right?
Yeah, he's still not playing, and I'm saying, is he a game changer?
I don't think so.
Questionable, questionable.
I mean,
Yeah,
But
probably
given how
not.
bad
but
the rest
Not
of your
on this
rosters, he
squad.
might have been okay.
but what it would have been nice to have another shooter on the floors, like relatively speaking, someone a little younger on the floor. Yeah, it would have been nice, man. Like especially with he's like it would have been nice to have him around as well.
Yeah, but
And
he's not the
I'm not.
difference between like what are you right now, like 9 seed and 4.
I know, but I think if I'm arguing like if all our if we're completely healthy, like I personally believe that that's the difference between like at least like a 5 to 9 seed, right? Like 4 seed difference. I personally like do think injuries played a big part in derailing this season, right? Fit was a thing. Fit, that's a given, right? It's Westbrook. Do I wish now, looking back, that we made that trade for Buddy Hield? Maybe he's not having an amazing season either, right? Speaking about it, like frankly, but it's tough at
What do you,
that point.
what do you think is gonna happen with the Russ in the offseason? He's not coming back like
Where
for sure, right? There's no way.
yeah, we offload him. Like we send him with an expiring, and um like maybe we have to attach a pick too. Maybe
I think you have to, because
maybe
I don't think anyone's gonna take him otherwise.
I mean, maybe someone wants an expiring. Maybe someone wants some cap next year. So
He's already at 47 mil expiring. I don't think they need anything more on top of that. I think maybe
no, maybe someone someone wants some cap space for next summer and is willing to take him on. Maybe that's optimism though. Like
I'd have to look
it
for the
may,
teams, but I don't think anyone would like. There's probably other expirings out there that will actually be able to contribute on the court too. But I don't know.
okay. Come on, man. Let's not say that Russ won't contribute on the court. He will contribute positively and negatively, right? So uh, he'll contribute. Like, come on, like he's averaging like 18, 7, and 7 right now. How that's
The
contributing?
last 7
Like we can't.
turnovers or what?
My
Ooh,
god.
shots fired. Shots fired.
Oh
Let
my
me let
god.
me ask you this. Let me ask you this because you brought up injuries, okay? When I look at your guys' roster, your two biggest guys, LeBron and AD, obviously. LeBron obviously is getting old. He's 37. In my thought process, to me, it's crazy how long he has been playing and how highly he's been playing, like at the level he's been playing. But to me, it's like his body's slowly got to be breaking down. So I expected injuries from him. And then as far as Anthony Davis goes, that guy is almost always injured as of late. At least last 2 years, he's always been injured. Last year he played 36 games, and this year he's played 37. So I expected the injuries. what I didn't expect is that even though you had LeBron and Westbrook, you guys still can't really win games.
Listen, man, we are about 17 months removed from the 2020 finals. It has not been that long. It's been about 17 to 18 months. Uh, let's not act like it's like these players are garbage, right? Anthony
No, they're
Davis,
not.
Anthony Davis had like a historic offseason, like postseason run that year.
Yeah, but the
The
thing with that is he's not gonna be able to do that again because it was such an anomaly compared to like his normal. And he is great like normally, but that was like he was playing like an all time level.
I don't know. Maybe he can, man. We haven't really like he hasn't really had the opportunity to, right? Even last year, quick, quick exit from the playoffs. Not really a chance to really do anything in the I keep saying off season, but I mean postseason. And speaking to the whole injury thing, that's actually the issue at hand, right? If given a healthy situation, Anthony Davis can prosper going forward on the Lakers. I see a lot of things about trade Anthony Davis, trade Glass season. I don't know if that's the right way to move about it. And I feel like you were hinting towards maybe moving LeBron this offseason, right? I don't know if that's something we are looking to do either. I think the number one thing to do is move on from Westbrook. The experiment has failed. It's time to like go ahead, do something else. Um, try to get whatever value you can back, right? We've seen with Palinka that he's able to pull things off. He pulled off he pulled off Montrezl Harrell. No one saw that coming, although that was a free agent signing. But no one saw that coming. That was like then Gasol was, although he was bad for us, like there was a lot. There was a slew of signings and like deals done after that.
It's not even fair though because the Lakers are in LA, so you get that advantage. You know, even if it's not just because of Palinka, it's because you're in LA and you're the Lakers.
I can. Sorry, Alex, you saying
No,
something?
go for it. Go for it.
No, I'm willing to say that that's respectfully that's a little bit of a stretch and cap. The whole LA allure isn't as heavy as people make it out to be, and that's something I've seen over the years. Until AD, like everyone was saying that allure was dead, right? It's not happening. Aldridge didn't want to sign with us in like 2016 or 2015. Carmelo said no in 2013 or 2015. It was back to back to back. DeRozan said no. He said I want to stay with Toronto, and then Toronto destroyed that. And then DeRozan didn't come back this summer either. When he had the chance, and we were open to taking him. So I personally believe that allure thing, it doesn't really apply to players as much as people say it does.
Can I ask you a question real quick?
Sure.
So, what year did Kobe retire?
2016.
Okay. So, my opinion on like the Lakers and the allure that is LA, um, I felt like a lot of big name players didn't want to go to LA and play with Kobe because they knew Kobe was so, I'm the man, this is my team. And the moment that Kobe retires, then you start seeing these free agents wanting to come back to LA. You got LeBron, you got AD, Westbrook. To me, that's what it was. Obviously, I mean, if you look at it, the Clippers, you got Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. I feel like LA is it. It's a big market. The only thing I can point to where I kind of can agree with you is the market's not as big of an issue. Is you have like the New York Knicks who cannot sign anybody for the life of them, and that might just be a culture thing because they can't win. But to me, I do think LA plays a factor. Who wouldn't want to live in LA? But I think, to me at least, and I could be totally wrong, I think Kobe being there and kind of, I feel like a lot of players were intimidated by Kobe. Um, I just feel like they didn't want to either share the limelight with him or kind of be put in the rear view mirror until he retired.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from, but I have to say that 2016, 2017, 2018. It took 2 years for someone to bat an eye
Wow, it took 3 years to get an All NBA player. That's so long.
yeah, but here's the thing, man. LeBron, it was just good timing. It was good timing. Like, really look at it, man. If Kyrie doesn't ask out, are we really anywhere? I don't think so. But
I don't know.
like maybe
But
Kyrie.
you did get good pieces though. You had Brandon Ingram, you had Lonzo Ball, you had Kuzma, who's a decent player. You had good pieces, and you could have built on that. My brother's was a Lakers fan. He loves Brandon Ingram, so you had good pieces. Even when I think it was just because they were so young, some players didn't want to go there.
Yeah, and I always had a feeling, and this kind of adds to your point more than mine, that Kevin Durant did want to come
I think
to
so
the
too.
Lakers.
I think so
Like
too.
pre-LeBron, like there was always an urge. Like whenever I saw an interview and he was like, "Yeah, I'm watching the Lakers. I'm watching the young guys," and I was like, "Man, this guy, I could tell he wants to come here," but that was just like a pure instinct thing. Like not no evidence. He never said anything too crazy. It was just one of those things where you're like, maybe, like like pathetic optimism, maybe. Uh, uh just one of those things. But I have to say that it took a couple years to get LeBron. After following that, it took it, players start like C to B level players started wanting to sign with us, and that was not because of the Lakers. I'm willing to say that was more because of LeBron, and that happens wherever LeBron goes. Right, is a lure of wanting to come. I think they got like
But wasn't LeBron
they
even
got
complaining like I don't know 2017, 18, something like that that he or I don't know if it was LeBron complaining, but there was like reports that he's trying to recruit people, but no one wanted to go to Cleveland. But as soon as you go to LA, then people are willing to play, willing to come there too. So I think it's at least 50-50 between Lakers and LeBron. I don't think it's as little as you're trying to say.
I mean, if you're talking about like someone like Carmelo Anthony coming to LA, like what type of players are we really talking about? Like AD, we had the assets to get AD, and we were able to get him. Otherwise, who knows if he would have like it was a rumor, and he was saying that he's gonna come, but like a lot of times we're used as like, just like we're used like strategically to get a larger contract. Oh, I'm gonna go to the Lakers, and that's like a negotiating tactic for most players, right? So who knows if he was like I personally feel like the national media has created a narrative that fits them whenever, right? Um, like
Also,
we could not for the life of us bring anyone on board, and then once LeBron comes, oh, it's like okay, the Lakers are back to taking the easy route out, you know?
but also like, you didn't get anyone in that 3 year span, but you had people wanting to go there. Like Kawhi wanted to go to the Lakers. The Spurs just didn't trade him there. Same with Paul George. They ended up, going somewhere else, obviously. But at the time, they wanted to go to Lakers. The teams just didn't send him there. So it wasn't like normal.
I No, it was like I said, I feel like that was all a negotiating. Like Paul George after the fact said that he didn't even want to go there. Let's
Okay,
say
his
let's
mind.
assume that they yeah, it's Paul George. Maybe he's lying. Like maybe he's not telling the truth at least.
Like Ken
Kawhi
Davis.
Leonard.
Yes.
Shot
Sorry.
changed his mind.
Yeah.
Lillard hitting that
I
shot over him. He's like, screw this. I'm going to LA.
I don't know, man. It's tough, and plus with the Lakers management being the way it was, I can see why some players didn't
That's
want to
true.
come there either.
It's kind of the issue that we had for a while, honestly. Let me ask you one more question before we wrap this up. First off, I appreciate you coming here, talking with us. Appreciate it. With this being a Blazers podcast, I feel like we'll just wrap it up on a Blazer question on an outside opinion. And you might not even have one. So if you don't, it's totally fine. This is kind of sprung on you out of the blue. Obviously, this season for us is garbage and it's been bad and we're clearly tanking the best we can. And honestly, I don't see us winning another game with the rosters that we're putting out there. Do you have any opinions or thoughts or ideas on how we should attack this offseason and going forward? assuming we're planning on building around Lillard like they say they are.
Listen, I've made my opinion very clear with Fawd before, and he disagrees. He thinks that living in the middle ground is better than absolutely tanking, like you guys are right now, or being on top. I am of the opinion of that the Philadelphia 76ers 6 years ago, when they started the process, did the right thing. He believes that that's not the case. I personally think it's time to move on from Lillard. Let the guy have his piece. In fact, trade him to the Lakers. You know, but
It was nice
That's
having you.
always what we hear.
but reality is, I personally think you guys need to move on from Lillard. Uh, get the picks you can, restart. Let's build it back from the ground up. And I know you mentioned that they want to build around Lillard, and given that question, I can't give you any advice on that if I'm being honest, because I just don't see it. Like I'm just not of the opinion that that's a thing that works. Like look at the Lakers, man. We tanked for 5 years, got good players, so we got LeBron to come, and then so on, right?
But
So
Portland can't get LeBron to come.
I yeah, but you can get some assets, make some trades. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
No, it's a fair point because we've molded that idea too of just blowing it 100% up, trading Dame, and just starting over. For me, and I think Fawad, we kind of agreed on this. As long as you have a Lillard saying he wants to be here, I don't see the reason that we would trade him. I am 100% on board and would prefer that we build around him and try to compete for a championship. And honestly, we say that every year. No, we're going to compete for a championship. Getting rid of Neil O'Shea, the general manager, and making the moves that we've made so far is telling me that they are serious about trying to do that. Now, if they trade Lillard away, then I guess they're fake little scenarios that they sold us this year were just a lie. But if Lillard wants to stay, and he, like he said multiple times, he's fine with never winning a championship as long as he's loyal here and as long as he's trying to win here. I wouldn't ever want to trade a top player like him away.
yeah, man, he's like what, 30 years old now, 31. Like, you can't really expect like how what are the chances that he has LeBron's longevity? Really?
No, I agree. He probably won't. He's a smaller guard. He has to put up with a lot more physicality because of how small he is. But I will say this, and I'll believe him. And you know, he started off this season really slow, really bad. He said he had an issue with his core, his abs and stuff. He ended up getting that cortisone shot, and he started playing really good again, like back to the old Lillard that we remember seeing. And then his abs started hurting again, and it went back to kind of not being good. And then he shut it down. He said that he swears that he feels better than he's ever felt, and he never realized how serious of an injury it was, and that he really expects to be even better than he has been these next couple years. I have no reason to not believe him, and the stuff that he has done for us these last 9 years, I am fine with trying, giving him the shot and just saying, you know what, you've done so much for us these last 9 years, go for it.
Here's the thing, man. It's not about believing him. It's about believing history, right?
That's true.
You can't, like, he is not in, like, this is a fact, man. Look, player in history who's ever said that, like, I will beat Father Time. That's basically what he's saying, right? I'm going to have the best couple years of my career up, like, coming up, right? And is he really, right? Like, is he really going to be better than he was 3 years ago when he hit a shot over Paul George, right? Like, it's been 3 years, like that, or 2 years. Sorry, no, 3 years. It's been 3 years. So I just don't see it happening now at this point. And here's the reality. And the sad thing is, and I don't mean to throw this on you, is that I think that the Blazers are thinking just like you guys, right? Otherwise, they wouldn't have traded Trent last year, right? Like, they are thinking about now, and maybe it might work out, and I hope it does for you guys. But I can't. I am just of a different opinion. And you know what? I give you full authority to tell me I told you so, Fuad, if it works out. But I just, like, I can't. I'm not with you on this.
No, it's a fair point. It truly is, and I understand. And any team would love to have him. So I mean, he knows that he could
Lakers.
go anywhere. So
Yeah.
I get it. Fuad, do you have anything you want to say before we wrap it up?
Oh, we've had these discussions like so many times. I'm good with just leaving it at that.
Okay. I appreciate you joining
wait,
us and
actually-
talking with us.
Right.
Oh, go for it.
A trivia question.
Oh yeah, I was gonna get to that.
Okay. All right.
So our last podcast, obviously, we forgot to bring out our trivia question. So I tweeted out about it. I put it on Discord for We'll just quickly go over the last one. It was, which member of the Portland Trailblazers broadcasting team is the only broadcaster ever to be ejected from an NBA game? We got a majority of the answers correct for everyone that did it. It was Mike Rice. He was the only player to get ejected. I wish I could remember what the story was. I can't remember, but it was a pretty crazy story. But with that being said, round 2 of our trivia question. Who is the tallest player in Portland Trailblazer history? And you've got a better chance at winning the lottery than you got of me saying the names of these people, because there's some looking like some Russian names and Chinese names that I will never be able to say right. So when I posted on Twitter, when I posted on Discord, you can see the names there, and then I'll put the Google Documents form out there, and you can answer it, and we'll keep score and go on from there. Other than that, I appreciate both of you guys for joining tonight, especially with such short notice on deciding to do kind of like this little special interview here. So I appreciate both of you guys being able to make it. Anything else you guys want to say before we wrap up?
Yeah.
No, thanks for having me, guys. I really enjoyed just chopping it up for like the last however, like 15 minutes or whatever.
Anything for you, Fawad?
I'm good.
All right. I appreciate everybody joining, listening. Have a good night. And as always, Rip City, baby.